which way I gotta go. All right. It's kind of late at night to be streaming. Let me see if I can fix this a little bit more. It's kind of late at night to be streaming, but I can't sleep. Uh, I work afternoons, and I've been working a lot of overtime, and for some reason I cannot sleep right now. So I figured I'd just jump on the old YouTubes and do a little bit of a live stream, and we can talk about a few things. If you're there, let me know here in the comment section. Leave a comment, and I'll try to reply. So. Top fans. We got top fans. Awesome. Sweet. A lot of new features. I'm using my phone instead of uh, everything else. I want all chat to be viewed. So um, nobody on here right now. Maybe probably because YouTube doesn't send notifications out for my channel anymore. I'm pretty much shadow banned, blacklisted, which is really sad because at one time I used to bring quite a bit of viewers over here onto the YouTube. What's up, Troy? I can't sleep, so I figured I want to talk some Bassmaster, maybe talk some baits for a little bit. Grimy fishing, nah, you're definitely not a nobody. Um, I'm a nobody, actually. So, um, yeah, so that's what I'm doing here. I figured y'all can ask some questions and we can talk, whatever. Uh, Probably going to be less people on than usual, and that's fine. But anyway, I kind of want to get started with a little bit of a rant here. And so if you're watching this back the next day, I've been watching Bassmaster today. The Angler of the Year race was pretty awesome. I'm not going to lie. Whether it's Rizzo, yeah, I knew that from Whatnot, believe it or not. I've seen so many baits that way. I knew your Whatnot name. But I've been watching Bassmaster, and I followed it pretty well this year because I was doing really good in fantasy, probably until about the fourth tournament. One time I was like in the top 100 in the world. Uh, Heck yeah, Kyle. I mean, I just can't sleep. I got baits and bassing on my mind. So I did really well in fantasy, so I followed it quite a bit this year. And I'll say one thing: this Angler of the Year race, it literally come down to the next to last day of the Bassmaster season. Like if all those guys would have made, the top 10 cut, it could have come one more day. Um, but Chris Johnson winning Angler of the Year back to back should not be overlooked. Like that's really impressive. Um, to be that consistent, to be the top dog in Bassmaster 2 years in a row. Hats off to him, man. I don't know him. I don't think I've ever talked to him. I think I've got a DM or two from his brother, which was cool. But awesome fisherman, and I don't care where he's from. I see a lot of people on the Bassmaster site and other places dogging him because he's from Canada, and then I also see a lot of people from Canada trashing the U.S. because Trey McKinney didn't win. And listen, bass fishing is an international sport. It really doesn't matter where you're from, whether you're from Mexico, Japan, Canada, United States, Italy, Spain. You can either fish or you can't. Like you don't come out of the womb and well, I'm from Canada. I was born in Canada. I can't bass fish. No, if you got the skills, you can do it. So, and also, I've seen a lot of it is so disappointing. So much hate for Trey McKinney. Like grown ass men making the comments they do. It's just sad. And I'll say this: there's certain people I don't root for in certain sports or certain sports teams I don't root for. Mainly Alabama. Really can't stand Alabama, but you don't see me making personal attacks against players or coaches or anything like that. I may say some things in jest and to be funny, but man, the things people are saying about Trey McKinney and his family, and it's just awful, man. Like I talked to the guy 2 weeks ago, and Trey was super nice. And the first thing he did, I was giving his number because he's got a tournament here on Kentucky Lake at the end of this month. I'm gonna try to fish it, and thought, man, maybe I should get with Trey and see if we can get some 6 cents uh, giveaway bags. I'll contact 6 cents, but I want to make sure it's cool with him. I don't want to just show up giving stuff away, even though it's from one of our sponsors. And he called me and I told him who it was. He said, "Yes, sir. I know who you are." I said, "Well, bud, you ain't gotta call me sir. Like I know I'm turning 40 soon, but you ain't got to do that." But he was super polite, super nice kid, And I've known who he was since he's like 12 or 13, and just knew from the right people, like, you gonna watch out, this kid can catch him. And he definitely could catch him without scope. Now, saying that, he definitely used forward facing to his advantage. And why wouldn't you? I mean, if you had all the resources and it was legal, why wouldn't you? Um, I think that Johnson should have actually fished bass events before just being let in because of Mercer. Uh, I don't know the story of them like qualifying for the elites or anything like that. I don't know if maybe they joined in that period of time where there wasn't a qualification. Just if you had the money and the connections, you could get in. Um, and honestly, even if that was the case, they've proved that they can hang on tour. In my opinion, their fishing ability has been out there. I saw where someone said in the comments, "You hate that Chris had to run a Corey spot." That is kind of an advantage of fishing as a team. Whether it's Drew Gill or not Drew Gill, Drew Cook and Drew Benton, they kind of share information, room together. I know stuff like that goes on with little small cliques. And I don't use clique as a bad word, just small groups of people kind of share information. Um, so that's going to happen. And as long as there's not a rule against sharing information amongst the anglers, I don't really think you can police that. And you surely can't hold it against one to help your brother out. Now, where I do have an issue, and I don't, this isn't personal, any kind of hole sitting, that's not cool. Whether it's your brother, your teammate, or whatever, you can't hole sit. And I don't think you should be able to purposely go sit on another angler's spot and burn it up to save somebody in the points race or keep them from winning event. What's up, Brandon? We're doing some old school late night bait chat here. Got the cell phone going. 20 people in here. Thanks, guys, for joining. All 20 of you, thumbs up. But yeah, so that's just my thoughts on that. But shout out to it, and I really thought Jay Shakur at one point, I think I pronounced his name right, was going to run away with this thing. He's super consistent. I like the way Jay fishes. He's really chill out there. I think he can do it without forward facing. You've seen on Sabine, he can do it with. I just don't know where he stumbled that bad. Maybe I'm forgetting something, but I really like Jay. I think he's a good angler for the sport. He represents his sponsors well. He carries himself well. And I also think Trey and Chris do. Trey's 20 years old. He's going to say things and be a little bit more amped up than other guys. And sometimes you might scratch your head, but dude, I said and did a lot of dumb things when I was that age. You feel you're on top of the world. And also, congrats to him, dude. I mean, second Bassmaster Angler of the Year at 20 years old is nothing to feel shamed about. And I don't think people should be shaming the kid. Yeah, dude, I that saltwater glide is kind of like a all-around glide, which I understand why they did it for saltwater. I had to get me a slushy. I hadn't had one in a long time. Let's see if I can get these chats to pull show chat. There we go. What's the most surprising thing out of all the tackle you bought? I had to go get. Yeah, so I'm actually working on that video for YouTube. It's pretty long because I went to Mississippi and it was 104 degrees when I got there. So I wasn't going to sit there and BS in the parking lot with the guy and do a 20-minute bait breakdown. So I went to Bass Pro Shop and then I filmed everything in my mom's garage. I won't say there was a lot of rare baits because there was not a lot of just super rare stuff. But I got some custom painted Man's Baby 1 minuses and some really good looking colors. There's some really good old school Lucky Craft, like some BDS 1.2 Martys. You do not see those Marty Stone baits very often. There were several BDS, the smaller ones like the Zeros. What else was in there? There's so many topwater poppers. Like I've got 4 boxes full, from Rico's to Yellow Magic to Splash It, KVD splashes going crazy. But there's a chrome and purple Rico. I've never seen it. I'm probably gonna have to keep that one to myself. Lots of crankbaits. There's some Gobi colored Bandit 200s, which is those are tough to find with the purple flake in them. I don't want to spoil it, but it was a crazy amount of stuff. Like, I'm gonna be selling it forever, but it seems like Whatnot's kind of dying down a little bit. I've noticed a lot of people having to almost give stuff away. But I've got so many hooks and weights, terminal tackle. I've got tungsten nail weights. I mean, I'll be separating stuff for a month, and hopefully you guys can get some good deals on some of it. You know, I'll buy bulk enough that show that chat. Show my chat. Top fans. Heck yeah. We got It's Rizzo, KWD, and Hunter Nixon. Brendan, y'all are all top fans. It's awesome. I'm trying to figure out why it won't show the chat back. But yeah. So that's my thoughts on that, on the Bassmaster deal. I don't know what they can do to improve. You know, everybody's talking about takeaway forward facing and all these kids won't catch them. I'll be honest with you. I think 60 to 70% of those guys that are deemed forward facing, so let's just say 3 out of 4, we're still going to hold their own. Now, does that mean they're all going to be in the top 10? I don't think so. Now, my question is, are the guys saying these guys can't catch them without forward facing? Are they saying that because they really believe that, or are they saying that because their favorite anglers aren't in the top 10, top 20 anymore? Because I feel a lot of this hate and negativity is because people root for certain guys, and at the end of the day, bass fishing may be the only sport where you can be 45 to 60 years old and you can still be a pro. Like, how many MLB, how many hockey, how many football players at that age are still competitive? Maybe NASCAR, if you consider that a sport. Maybe dirt racing, if you consider that a sport. But you know, dirt racing is just like bass fishing. These guys they have to put up money. It's, you know, it's you spend more money than you make to be competitive. Is that why people are saying that? Because their favorite angler is not dominating anymore? Whether it's because of technology or the competition. I'll be honest, and this is a hot take. As good an angler as Kevin Van Dam is and was, uh, he was dominating when there wasn't a lot of hardcore competition. You know, some of the really good anglers had left. Hank Parker, he left. So Kevin didn't have to fish against him. There's a lot of guys that were cherry picking events. You know, local anglers were filling up a lot of those top 100s, top 150s. There wasn't that many guys who fished every tournament. And that's not discrediting what Kevin did, because it was awesome. But you notice as competition got better, Kevin wasn't dominating every event. Now he was dominating about every other event. But even on the Tennessee River, Kentucky Lake, where he was so good, there the last couple tournaments, it was a little bit tougher on Kevin. You know, waterways change, techniques and tackle technology. As much as we want to talk about forward facing, the biggest thing to me that has changed fishing and how you fish, whether it be, you know, a swim bait like this, the old hangover, or just a straight up old school little Norman deep baby in, what's really changed all that is the mapping. Like, the mapping is so good now. Like, you do not have to have forward facing to find these hole in the wall spots. You don't have to have forward facing to find these current seams or breaks or ledges or ditches and drains that the OGs knew about, or only guys that would idle for hours and hours on a day to find something that their Lowrance mapping didn't show. Now you can go buy a Lowrance C map and HDS 12, or you can buy a new Humminbird Explorer and load the Humminbird Lake Master maps in, and you can find stuff on a lake that you couldn't find 5, 10 years ago, because the topography maps and stuff that you had didn't show that. And I've seen it on my lake. I've seen guys that, you know, they're not that good at forward facing. They have it, but what they do have is the best mapping. And I'm seeing people catch fish and in places I've never seen them show up before. Like, not the bass, like fishing some juice only me and one or two guys know about, and people just randomly coming across it. You know, that don't mean they're whole buzzards. It just means they got good mapping. And I just don't think everybody realized that the baits have gotten so much better as far as castability. There's not many crankbaits out there that don't have some kind of weight transfer system, or maybe they got a weight that's, you know, under the belly or tail weighted so you can cast it better and win. Spinner baits components have gotten better. The OGs, you only had so many spinner baits. They had Sampo or worse swivels, and everybody else was trying to put as cheap as they can. Now you've got, you know, even Strike King makes a good spinner bait, but there's so many companies out there building a premium spinner bait. A bladed jig. You remember the old chatter baits? They did not hold up very well at all. Now you've got jackhammers and JDM chatter baits that premium hook, premium blade, premium snap, that they're going to last multiple fish. Line is so much better. Like, well, it was just what, 20 years ago, and that makes it sound quick. But the best line I could find was like P-Line CXX, or I used to use Trilene Sensation. I love that stuff. But now, I mean, honestly, for the way I fish and most of you guys in the stream, you're using fluorocarbon line for all your bottom contact stuff. Even crankbaits, jerk baits, swim baits. Fluorocarbon's so much more sensitive. It's got less stretch. Now, there's times and places I use mono. Going to use braid, but the braided lines have gotten so much better. The days of spider wire, it literally felt like wire. Now you've got like Sunline. I use the X Plasma, is good stuff. FX1, Seagar's got some really good braid. Uh, Line is a whole lot better. The only thing I'll say is sometimes I think the reels, like those old Chronarchs, the old Pearl Chronarch, the old E Series Corrado, E Series Chronarchs, those are really, really good. I don't know. There we go. It's been hiding my chat messages. Hey, happy Sunday, Daniel. I'm going back to the chat. These trails, those trails that have split with FFS, the weights drop dramatically. The evidence is out there to look at. Well, yeah. I mean, I'm not saying that forward-facing sonar doesn't change the weight or amount of fish caught. People also forget these rookies have been fishing. Yes, they have. There's more anglers fishing in high school and college than ever before. I can tell you there's about 3 guys that fished when I graduated high school. And when I say fish, I mean fished every weekend or chance they got. And that's counting myself. I think that's a fair statement. You know, he has definitely padded the stats, Hunter. It's not discounting his accomplishments. MLF released stats that showed their anglers actually caught more bass in the non-forward-facing sonar period. Now, that was a fact, especially on Kentucky Lake, which was what I was very interested for 2 years, how that would work when they turned their units off. Would Skeet have retired if he didn't get cut? I think so. I talked to him last year, and he acted like I was trying to get him on a stream, and he said he would. And, you know, we couldn't get it worked out. And he said, yeah, you know, I don't know how much longer I got of this. I'm starting reefs fishing and some other things. He's a really good businessman, and just basically said he's going to give it one more whirl. What's up, Chris? All right. I'm going back through the comments because I couldn't see him. What's up, Justin? BPT anglers caught more bass without forward facing. So, yeah, it's crazy, Patricia. So let's talk about BPT. It's late night. We'll just let anything fly. Chris, I'm not sure if Ben qualified or not. I'd have to check. I'll tell you the channel that we'll know is Get Your Fish On with Steve. Believe it or not, I like Steve. He's a really good guy. I did a stream with him a long time ago. He's really kind of doing a good job, I think, of covering everything. And I don't think he's very biased. There's some channels out there, I think all they do is clickbait and they're ambulance chasers. I think he's just kind of more bringing the popular news once a day. Super Troopers 3, yeah. Can I get a liter of cola, please? But let's talk about BPT. you know, every year you hear people dog it, like Boyd's going out of business, BPT, they're going under. Dude, BPT killed it this year. Like, I'm glad for them because, you know, FLW is in my hometown of Benton, Kentucky. They're literally about 4 minutes down the road from me. I know a lot of guys that work for them. And there was a time where I was really worried about the jobs. Like, I don't want to see guys lose jobs. And I guess I bought into a lot of the Boyd Duckett talk and hate. And about 2 years ago, I said, I'm just going to see where this goes. And man, Bass Pro Tour was awesome this year. Jake Lawrence, my man Jake, he's been on the stream several times. I got to get him back on. He's hard to get a hold of. I don't think he's hi-hatting me, but it. They had some excellent finishes. That finish between Jake and Jacob Wheeler there at what was it, Gunnersville maybe? No, Nickajack. Dude, that was amazing. Last second, BBT made the buzzbait great again. Like, how many buzzbaits did Buckeye sell because of that? Really, really awesome. Dustin Connell winning at Gunnersville Dam without forward facing. Like, who would have thought that was going to happen? I thought the last event was awesome. It was top order everywhere. There was guys fishing shallow, flipping reeds and all that stuff. Zach Burge had an awesome year. You know, Burge, by the way, he told me he will come on a Saturday night stream and talk some frog fishing with you guys. Yeah, I mean, I don't think Bassmaster did anything wrong as far as scheduling or event wise. It's the 5 fish format, and the weight counts every day. You know, it's cumulative weight. And so you see an event like Kyle Welcher, absolutely. I mean, you couldn't catch him after day 2. It's just almost impossible unless he broke down. Every now and then that's going to happen. You're even going to see a BPT event every now and then where a guy just runs away. But I like the format. It does create some drama. I would obviously love to see the 5 fish, but they tried that and believe it or not, the viewership was down. Guys wanted to see the all you catch format. That's hilarious, Little Rich. That's hilarious. But I thought it was a good year for baits, to be honest. And let's just be real here. The industry is down. Um, I was in the Bass Pro Shops. I was in the Pyramid. Awesome place, by the way. You got to go if you ever get a chance to be in Memphis for whatever reason. Most people don't just voluntarily go to Memphis. I don't, but you got to stay strapped. Um, so let's make an example. A Bandit crankbait. So one like this right here. The retail on a Bandit 200, not a pretty Pradco one. That I don't. This one's. I'll probably just give this one away, honestly. It's got some warp to it. Just a brand new Bandit in a package is $8.49. What made this bait right here, this Bandit 200, so popular back in the day, is they were made in the United States, Sardis, Mississippi, and they were $4.59 probably in 2003, 2004. $4.59 to $4.99 any tackle shop you went into. So for $5 you could get a decent crankbait. This guy right here, you know, Norman, Deep Baby in, $4.99 all day. Normans were $8. I did find some DD22s there. They're $8.99 for DD22. Rattle traps. Man, who remembers when you could buy a rattle trap any day of the week for $4.59, $4.49, $4.99? Rattle traps, $6.99 at Bass Pro. I don't even want to talk about Strike King. KVD 1.5s, $8.99 across the board. All the elite colors were $12.99. I believe when I was growing up, Lucky Craft Sammys were $17.99, and old men would say, they'll never sell. I'm not paying that. No one needs a bait that expensive. Guys buy the snot out of a Sammy now for $14. That's a competitive price. All right, go back to some comments here. Kyle, that's because people were behind MLF all fish counts. The ones that were winning about every fish counts 1 in 5 fish bag was never going to get behind MLF. I agree. There was definitely kind of like the forward facing. There was a loud voice, a small, loud minority was trying to get that change because they thought that would benefit them. And at the end of the day, it didn't work out. Is it true that hardbait sales are down because of the minnow bait surge? I think that has something to do with it. Look, do I think competitive fishing rules the bait market? No, it doesn't. Because there's so many people that fish and do not keep up with tournament bass fishing. So a good example is like I sell a lot of stuff on Whatnot. Not everybody buying from me even knows what a minnow bait is. I mean, I get asked all the time for rooster tails and snap swivels that are the devil and all kinds of baits, Cincos, just a lot of stuff guys just pond fish. You get on Reddit, and I've been active on there a couple times in the last week or two. Um, there's so many people in the beginner bass fishing subreddits and the bass fishing subreddits. You can tell they don't care nothing about pro fishing. They just want to catch fish. Um, so I think what happens is um, the bass fishing industry is very self-centered. They want to think that everybody is watching Bassmaster, everybody's watching MLF, and they want to copy what the pros do. And I would have thought they learned their lesson with the Guggen Squad. The Guggen Squad really showed everybody that the majority of fishermen do not care about a tournament. They just want to go catch fish. They want to hop a pond, whether it's a golf course, a farm pond, city pond, and they want to go get bites. And hats off to the Guggens for really showing that. And now, as the Guggens guys have got older, they've kind of branched away, done their own thing. We got more different content creators out there. Now it's all right. So we had this big shift. Let's go back to the original. Let's really get behind the tournament guys and let's get as many minnow baits out there. Let's get as many dice baits as we can. Um, Sales are back to where they used to be. I think COVID really was a small boom, and many manufacturers looked at that and was like, well, guys are look at all these new fishermen. We can sell so much more. And no, pro fishing takes 250,000 or 250. It takes a lot of money. There's no doubt that you have to have some money. Do you buy hard baits every time before you go fishing, or do you buy more soft plastics? Well, I haven't bought any baits in a while, but it just really depends. I would say the average angler that doesn't have a boat that bank fishes is buying soft plastics. I look at, like I said, I look at samples on Reddit, some of the bass fishing groups on Facebook that I'm a part of. All those I just lurk. There's more questions on rigging Cincos or Texas rigged worms or did I rig this chatterbait right? Then I see about, hey, I bought these balsa crankbaits. What's the difference between balsa and this? Or what's the best way to fish a square bill? Or, tell me about suspending jerkbaits. I see way more on soft plastics. Yeah, I agree, Rich. I mean, look at me. I've got glide baits back here right behind me. And, that's one of my favorite ones right there. That's the Fish Everything paperweight. I love this bait, but I would lie to you if I told you I fished it every time I went out. Even the Clutch Eco, which I really like the Clutch Eco. They just had another drop, by the way. Even the Clutch Eco, great swim baits, but I don't keep those in my boat all year round like I would a 50X Crush Square Bill, or I really like that new Bambuza from 6 Cents. Speaking of, I got a bunch of 6 Cents. Would you guys like to see a little late night unboxing? I'll go get some stuff, and we'll talk about all this new stuff I got from 6 Cents. I mean, you may have seen it before, but all right, let me go get a couple boxes of 6 Cents stuff. I'll be right back. Of course. Oh yeah, I'm back. I got big boxes here. Oh my gosh, I have to step over tackle boxes. I'm gonna get my phone charger. Plug it back in real quick. Holy cow. It's been so long since I've done the YouTube stream. Thank you guys for staying put for me. I do appreciate everybody. Oh god dang, we got barking spiders in the house now. Oh man. I stirred something up, Kyle. Golly. Yeah. I'm glad my dogs ain't in here. All right, let's see here. Mag scent on drop so ain't sexy, but it catches. Yes, sir. Do you sell 6 cents on whatnot? Kyle, you know better. All right. Go unboxing. I did short, I think. I'm not sure. I gotta take a shower. So before I get too heavy into the baits, you know, guys, I love hats, even though my hair is going away. This OG Tacklewarehouse is one of my favorite. But I got a couple new 6 cents hats. I like this style. It's kind of a Jacob Wheeler-ish Jack York. Kind of a little flat brimmer. Got to do this. I'm going to wear this hat when I do my anti-Randy videos. I think it'll work really good when I want to talk about why forward facing is so much better, or why you should be buying 6 cents versus mega bass baits, because mega bass is really overrated. You're just paying for a name. They're still made in a factory in Vietnam. Definitely got this one for my flat brimmer. But one thing's cool about these hats, so if you notice on these, it says Sobro. Well, that's a new company that Casey Sobsek and his brother started, and it's all an apparel company. So you can actually order these blanks, and you can have whatever you want on the front. But this kind of real soft mesh material, it's real breathable. Like I wore it not long ago in the sun. Oh my gosh, it's so much more comfortable than just straight up mesh. Now, I do like a mesh hat. Do like the Richardson and the Yukon. Hey, I'm just stating facts, guys. You can go buy a Pot Max in special colors, and I can catch just as many on a P70. And then I got this one right here. I really love this hat. I forgot the exact model. I had to look it up. But this fits more like the Richardson style Yupon, but it's got that mesh in the back. It's nice and cool on my bald ass head. So I think I might just wear this one for the rest of the stream. Like, yeah, well, I'm glad you said that, Patricia. Lures catch anglers. So if I read a thing about Bill Norman, and he was one of the first guys to understand that lures catch fishermen. But if you don't get lures in a fisherman's hand, you're not going to have a business. And so his deal was, I know I've got the right shapes and sizes, but I'm going to put different colors that nobody's seen. And Bill Norman may be the OG of hardbait colors. Like all those gel coat colors were amazing. The clear coat. Yes, there was some Bagley Dazzler stuff. Yeah, you're right, Kyle. So if guys want an original P70, you're going to pay more than a Pot Max. But if you can get the reproductions, I like the new P71. It's not bad at all, really. Um, you're just as well. I just don't feel like that Pot Max does anything super special. Like the River to Sea Bubble Walker's half the price. It does the same thing. Honestly, I throw the 6 cent splashback a lot. And not just because I'm sponsored by them, but because it catches a lot of fish. I can make it walk really, really well. And very easy. Another really good one that slept on is that Arashi Cover Pop. I don't even know if they make it anymore. But you got the right rod and reel combination on that and line, you can make that walk really, really good. It's hard to beat a Rico too. So there's at least 5 or 6 poppers I'm going to throw before Pot Max. Now, when it comes to jerk baits, I'll let you know straight. Vision 110 is probably king. The Pot Max is where the eye is. So they had different eye ties. I don't go down. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to beat a Texas rig, but honestly, you're not learning anything more as an angler if all you do is fish a Texas rig. Like, I got a friend, all he throws is a shaky head. If they bite anything other than a shaky head, he doesn't catch fish. And so I like to catch fish, so I try to be versatile. Does it mean I'm good at everything? No. Yeah, man. PD4 is a really slept on bait. Like, I pretty much use this flat F4 in the spring and that PD4. Well, here's the thing, I don't have any Pop Max here. Bullet Pop's a good one. You know, I love poppers. Like, I love a walking bait, a bit, and you're fixing to see one, but let's go through the 6 cents real quick. I got some of these. So this is the Strobe Minnow. So yes, and this is part of the Master Class series that originally come out in Dick's. Now they got them in Bass Pro. So this little Strobe Minnow, and this color is Live Gizzard. So now you can put this on a ball head. You could put this one on your own little scrounger head if you wanted to. And it's hollow, but you can also drop shot this. You don't have to use forward facing with this bait. This would be a great drop shot option. But I really like this Live Gizzard color. And Frost and Austin's been smashing fish here on Kentucky Lake on a really small finesse popper because they're eating really small bait. So I got some of those. I'm going to really try these out on a drop shot. I've got to buy more spinning gear, to be honest with you. But this is the one I'm really excited about. This is the Fiction Shad. The dogs are definitely probably going to beat the Vols. As long as Tennessee takes care of who they're supposed to, I don't really bother me if they lose to the dogs. This is the Fiction Shad, and this one's called a Live Shad. So the reason I got this is right now on Kentucky Lake and in the fall, the bass will really feed on these really small thread fin. They're about half the size of this. And I want something to match the hatch. Now, whether that's putting this on forward facing or maybe a microbladed chatterbait or even maybe weightless. Believe it or not, I have an idea rigging this thing weightless with a wacky rig or using one of those geek crack things to throw it out there after a fish misses topwater and just kind of work it on the surface like a dying shad. I think that would be a really good little follow-up bait. But that's the Fiction Shad, and they make 3 sizes in this. But man, that thing looks really, really realistic. So leave it up to your imagination how to rig these, but like I said, I have a sneaky idea on some really light spinning gear that it would make a really good follow-up bait for topwater. Now, these are all printed, and because they're printed, they're made in China. And they got a unique smell to them. What else I got in this box? Oh, yeah. I got some bodegas. So I love the bodega. This one's Nirvana. So if you haven't, this is the actually this one is Black and Blue Pro. So that's a really good color. See how that black and blue's kind of got that, you know, shininess to it. I really like it. It's almost like a laminate, black and blue on one side, almost like a blue sapphire on the other one. I really like this color, especially for a little dingy water, but it's just a natural color. Bass are going to bite black and blue. The one I'm really a favorite of is this one right here, Oh Nirvana. So you got black and blue on one side, green pumpkin on the other. And I've caught several fish on the Bodega 4.0. I actually had this size before I had the big size when they sent me prototypes. I use a 3/0 Aaron Martin's G-Finesse flipping hook in this thing, and it will set the hook point right back here. So you have that almost covered everything. And man, I caught a lot of fish, immediate post-spawn around laydowns, cover, just on this, and just letting it sit there. These little tails, they really, really got some action to them. So when your bait sits there, especially you peg your weight, these tails just kind of fold up and down. Pretty unique deal. And so a lot of guys don't talk about this, but these ribs are more than just to create action in the bait. Moving water, I think that's kind of overrated. Everyone says these baits move water. Okay, it's not much. Maybe create a ripple. What this does makes this bait fold really easily. So when your hook point's back here and you set the hook, the bait folds and hook point shoots through those ribs a whole lot easier than thicker plastic. You know me, I love a ringed worm. So I always felt my hookups were better on a ringworm than they were like a power worm or something. So let's see, I got that color. Here's another. So here's the strobe shaker. So there is a difference. This is a 4.0 strobe shaker. Now this is one I'm definitely going to use on forward facing, because you've got this little, lip right here that's almost like a scrounger lip. And like guys say it's like a drift fry. Yeah, same concept. The drift fry is down here. It's got a bigger lip. This is more of a really finesse bait. I'll just from messing around, I like a 3/16 an 1/8 ounce head on this thing, and really reel it slow, and it just kind of rocks back and forth. Again, I want to imitate a really small bait fish with this thing, and man, that realistic finish looks good. You guys liking the cell phone? The quality looks pretty good. I'll be honest, from back here, the quality on the cell phone looks really good. But yeah, see that? That's definitely unique. I think you're going to start to see more companies do things like that to their minnow baits. Whether that's fins or lips or who knows, to try to get it rocking on itself. So what else I got in this pack? Oh, okay. We'll talk about a little confidence bait. So this has been one that's, this has really been my confidence bait all year. And that is the 6 cents Congo crawl. Every order I make, I get a couple more packs of these things. If you're a fan of a rage crawl, a pack of crawl, any of that stuff, chigger crawl, I really recommend the Congo crawl. And this is the color. And I'm not a huge watermelon red guy, but this watermelon red pro has done the deal for me. So you see, you got your basic watermelon red on one side, and then you got this kind of purple silver, and it really highlights the red. And where I feel that looks great in the water is it's kind of imitating a bluegill. And I like the fact that you got two sets of pinchers here. I always spread the flaps. I always like my flaps apart. Really good looking bait. I like a 5/16 weight on this. I've even gone up to 3/8 pitching it around. But you get a lot of movement here. And the cool thing is sometimes these fish bite like this off, and I'll just pull these off, and then I still have a crawl. Or they'll bite one of these off, and I'll take them both off, and I'll have a really compact crawl. And you can use it on the back of a chatterbait as well. Rig it like that. But I really like the Congo crawl. Again, I use like a 3/0, 4/0 straight shank hook on this. Great hookups. Makes a great jig trailer as well. Very versatile. You get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in the pack for like $5. What color is it? 20-foot deep blue. Blue shows up the best out deep. Which is weird, because you would think, well, why don't everybody use blue worms? Because everybody would tell you the best color for a big worm is plum, or if you're drop shotting, you gotta have that robo worm and that morning dawn or that pink color. And I think the reason it catches is because it disappears, and bass are using their lateral line to find it versus visually. See, I got other colors of the bongo. There's more black and blue pro. It's a whole, not bongo, bodega. I actually got this a while back. All right, so this is the one. I had to get some backup baits. I love plum. Guarantee I got some in here, Hunter. The Magnum Catwalk. Gotta have it. I caught so many on this bait last fall. I actually have a video edited, but I'm not going to post it live till like October when I blasted some fish. I don't want people hoe buzzing me. Because if you're on Kentucky Lake, you'll know where I'm fishing. I got a tournament in October, and I don't want people sitting there. If you don't think people don't watch that stuff, you're lying, because the amount of pros that tell me they watched Mark Menendez TV shows on Kentucky Lake before the Open was wild. This is Spanish bone scales. That's the one I've absolutely hammered them on. I've got my original one is tied on, but I had to get me a new backup just in case. They put good hooks on these, and they're on sale. I think these Mad Catwalks are only like 12 or 13 bucks right now, and they're normally like $24. So they're almost, or at least 20 bucks. Grab a Magnum Catwalk. I'm telling you, you get big bites. And then I got this one in, what color is this? Heater Shad. Shout out to Justin Roll. I don't know if it's his color or not, but I got a chrome and purple one, but I really got this one to try out as well. I don't really think the color matters, but I do think these scales matter. Oh, yeah, this one's pretty sick. Yes, I throw this on a copolymer line. This bait right here, I've been using Iser line, 20-pound Iser line, and man, for this bait and some of my bigger top waters, it is really good. Good swim bait line too. Dude, I would love for you to make me a 8-inch balsa walker, Brandon. But yeah, this color's sick. Again, got a bone belly. I like the scales on it. It's really weird. Is I had a buddy fishing with me last year, and I had my catwalk, mad catwalk. And he was throwing a big spook. He was throwing solid bone, and I was throwing a catwalk, and I was literally catching every fish. Like they wouldn't even touch his, but they would blow up on the catwalk. So, let's see what else I got in here. Got some ridge lizards. Several colors of ridge lizards. Really unique bait if you guys hadn't seen that. More Congo craws. I got some dark water craw here. And then magic craw red. I throw that one a lot too. So I had to load up on that stuff. And then as Hunter said, do you got any plum? I did get a little plum. And a few baits. This is a sneaky bait here. If you guys like a Cinco or you want to do some Nico rigging, this is the Bambusa. I caught about a 6-pounder with Frost and Austin on this thing. I made him a believer. But this little Bambusa, you put this on a Nico rig, it tends to stand up. This one is plum apple or blood apple. It's really like a plum apple. But I really like the Bambusa. Great for a Nico rig. You can Texas rig it. Great on a shaky head too. Little, 1/4 ounce, 1/8 ounce shaky head. Real finesse, but it stands up. Again, we're ribbed for their pleasure, and it'll be your pleasure too when you catch them. Yeah, man, super underrated. I really like the bait myself. And it was one I didn't really. It came out last year, and I didn't really buy it. I got some in a 6-sack, I believe, and I tried it out. And was like, dude, this thing's the deal. 8-rig walking bait. Wouldn't that be a donkey bait? Donkey rig? And then there's this color, this whiskey dust. It's going to be a great clear water coat, kind of like a cinnamon purple. Why do most anglers throw a right-handed bait caster and a left-handed spinning reel? That's a question I don't know. But my son is left-handed. He throws left-handed and reels right-handed. I'm right-handed. I cast right-handed and reel right-handed. But he's left-handed and throws with his left and reels with his right. He says it feels better. And I think really that's all it is a feel difference. Now, I've tried left-handed reels and it just feels weird. But let's see what else I got in this box. I got several of the ridge lizards. I really like this bait, by the way. If you notice that tail, it's kind of a spade tail like the ridge worm. It's pretty solid. That's one of those deals I ordered. It kind of came out a little late for me on the worm lizard bite, but I went ahead and ordered them anyway. Again, I had to get some of these Crush crankbaits. I've always had the C10s. Check this guy out right here. This is the Crush 300DD. Love this color, by the way. Everybody throws chartreuse and blue, and it absolutely catches them. But I like to have something a little bit different. And this is an original bait. 6 Cents had the Crush 300 for a long time. This is called Citrus Scales. Really like that one. Kind of a different citrus shad. Very similar like the Bill Dance's citrus shad. And a lot of people don't realize that this was kind of their version of the fat-free shad. But I had to get some 300 DDs. That's kind of in the place of like a 6XD crankbait. I'm just going to start hanging some of this stuff up while I'm here. There's no sense of it not. Pressure PD16 is a badass bait too, by the way. What other colors did I get? Shad Candy. This is a good looking sucker. I like this 300 DD. It weighs 1 ounce. I throw it on 12-pound fluorocarbon. Yeah, this one, when the water clears up, this is very similar to like green gizzard. Oh, yeah. Now, it's a little late for this bite, but you'll have a good crankbait bite the 1st of October as well. When those gizzard shads start ganging up a little bit out deep before they move shallow, you get you another deep crankbait bite. But I'm not going to be caught with my pants down like I was this year. I didn't order any, and when I wanted to order them, they were out of stock. So I really like the Crush 300. And then I got one more color, and they call that Pro's Choice. I like the Busa Shaky Worm as well. I really do. The whole Busa lineup is good for me. So I'm going to put some of this stuff back. I got to find a place to hang it all. I still hadn't ever cleaned my bait room out completely. And then I got another box of stuff in here from 6 cents. I got some packing paper. It was based loosely on the fat-free shad. Very similar bill, body style wise, and then they changed some things in the fat-free, and they just, I don't know, the old ones are better. A lot of it was the colors. They quit making all the good colors. Speaking of Bomber, I just got a bunch of Build Ants Flat A's be on the way this week. Look for those on Whatnot. Speaking of Busa, about the Mag Busa 8.0. Man, you know, I love a Magnum trick worm, one of my all-time favorite shaky head worms. So I had to get some Mag Busas. This is a big old worm. Designed for a Texas rig or bigger shaky head. Fritz says the only color on a crankbait in the bass series is the belly. Well, I love Fritz, and I hate to say he's wrong. I'm not saying he's wrong, but Fritz hadn't caught a bass in about 5 years, so things change. But I do agree that the belly has a lot, but I think forward-facing sonar, we agree with or disagree, is starting to show people some of the things these OGs were saying are wrong. And I've seen it myself on forward-facing. Me throw a shad color crankbait, somebody throw a chartreuse and blue one, and the bass 100% reacts to the chartreuse and blue. But here's the Mag Busa worm. Again, we got ribs. Exactly, man. Exactly. This is green pumpkin blue. I really like this worm. It's very flexible. It's going to stand up on a shaky head. Now, this is the bigger version for guys that want to fish a little bit deep, want a bigger presentation, where you use like a 3/8, maybe even up to a 1/2 ounce shaky head. Me personally, 3/8 is about the heaviest I'm ever going to use. But you can put a bigger hook in this thing. The packaging is kind of different, to be honest with you. It's going to take some room in the bait. I do like the ridge worm. I remember the first day I threw that on Lake Barkley, I caught a 5-pounder out of a brush pile, and I was like, I'd better not tell people about this. But that's the Mag Busa. Kind of wild packaging there. I'm going to take up some room on the wall. So I got one. What colors I got in this thing? Red Bug Magic. I have that red bug. I got, this one's really cool. Yeah, dude, it'll catch him. 4 inches of water, absolutely. Old Dan Moorhead caught him flipping a baby Huey one time. That's a Blue Fleck Magic. I really like that one. I've caught them on the Busa ribbon tail. And then had to get the Epic Eric, the old June Bug red. But the packaging's wild. It's going to be kind of hard storing those too. But this has been my worm all summer. This is the reason I made this big order. Is I ran through 3 packs of these things. I ordered these last year. This is the Busa ribbon tail, and this is my color, Plum Dawn. Does the Baitman Minnow have forward-facing sonar in it? What's the Baitman Minnow? Oh, the Triton? Yeah, I have active target 1, so actually, no, I don't have forward-facing. I just got a big piece of junk on there. I'm going to try to get a 16-inch Garmin, but this thing right here, I I put some clips on Facebook and maybe YouTube. I caught a lot of big fish on this guy right here. And so this is a, dude, I want Plum Dawn in the Busa, uh, Bambusa, and I want it in the Mag Busa. This is a great color. So it's got a little bit of pink hue to it. Years ago, when they said they were going to make a plastic, I said, we need a ribbon tail. And I showed them the Lucky Strike ringworm. And I said, make this, don't knock it off, make a better version of this. And they come out with this last year. And I'm not going to lie, they knocked it out of the park. I haven't used any of my old Lucky Strike worms since this. No, Brendan, I didn't. I tell you what I did get is I got about $2,000 worth of maintenance to my truck. But yeah, so I got me like 4 packs of this Plum Dawn ribbon tail. My buddy Brandon Hunter, guy on Kentucky Lake, he's been smashing on this thing. I told Frost in Austin he was having trouble. I said, dude, just go drag the Busa ribbon tail. And guess what? He calls me, oh my God, dude, they're freaking cheering this thing. I'm like, told you so. So Austin's actually a really good guy. And he calls me once a week, maybe twice a week. He don't live far from me, maybe 15 minutes. And so me and him are probably going to do some tournament fishing next year. You have 10, yeah, so the Plum Dawn Busa Ned is what got me started, Bayou. So I had a pack of them, and I caught several brownfish in the spring. And usually don't throw a plum color in the spring. And when they come out with that in the ribbon tail, I load it up. So now that I got a boat, I go through way more. Speaking of boat, I got to put a new charger in it this week. I'm ready to do some fall fishing. When it gets super hot, I'll be honest with you guys, I'm not going to go out there and have sweat running down my ass crack just to make a YouTube video. This is when I get a lot of overtime at work, and I can make more money in 2 days overtime than I can filming YouTube videos in a year. So YouTube don't pay jack anymore. Let's see, what else is in this box? I got some of the baby Busas. I guess maybe to use as a trailer on a little finesse jig. You can Ned rig it. Didn't get many colors. So I've kind of got out of getting every color and every bait because what happens is I just end up with stuff on my wall and I'm not using it now. And this is just old black and blue 4/8 Busa. But I only got the colors I wanted to use, which is green pumpkin. And maybe that's about it. There's some more June bug bodega, and there's some blood apple bodegas. So I just, instead of ordering every cut and how they get that watermelon red magic in that big Busa worm, that looks sick. Hey man, not a problem, Brendan. I appreciate you joining in. And by the way, thanks for everybody for joining in at a midnight bait stream. What do I think about the new geek crack worm? I actually like it pretty well. It's a really cool concept. And the last thing I got was some of these pitch flat tungsten. Believe it or not, these are sneaky good. I like them on that Congo crawl. When I'm fishing boat docks, I like to fish boat docks like Gold James Watson. These are nice. So, but that's really what I got. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, if you join in on Whatnot this week, I usually do my giveaways on there. Follower giveaway. So a follower usually gets a 6 cents bait. I might give away a Mad Catwalk. You never know. I'm going to put this up here. I really need to do is just straight up unboxing, but I'm kind of over the YouTube unboxing videos. It seems like everybody does an unboxing video, and I don't know. Do you guys? I feel like people follow you more for unboxing than fishing, but it's weird. I do unboxing, and people say I want to see a fishing video, so then I put a fishing video up, and nobody watches it. Then I put a fishing video up, and someone says, "Hey, I want to see an unboxing video." So I just post whatever, you know. I probably just need to rename my channel or have a different channel that's Baitman's Opinions. But I'm thinking of starting another podcast, an actual real podcast, probably this fall for the next year, and call it the Baitcast. And to keep the YouTube live stuff separate. So we'll see. I just need to put stuff on the internet. Top baits for spotted bass. If I was fishing Lake Lanier, it would be a spot sticker mini me on windy days. It would be some sort of top water, whether that's a walking bait or a popping bait, a scrounger, and an underspin. And to be honest with you, any kind of minnow bait. Drop shot's absolutely lethal on spotted bass. A friend of mine, his son it's somewhere in Alabama, some school, and they're crushing them on minnow baits. Back in the day, a 5-inch chartreuse pepper finesse worm would catch you all the spotted bass you want. Hey, thank you for the $5 make you holla. Been a long time since I said that, Hunter Nixon. You feel like bass prefers silent square barrel over rattling. I actually would say they do prefer a silent square bill. I think it's a little bit of more natural, especially once you get past the month of about, I'll say, April. Everybody's been throwing a square bill, whether it's got a one knocker in there, it's got a rattle in it, the water's been dingy, and now it. I just feel like in the fall I really want silent. In the summer I want silent. Clear of the water, more fishing pressure. I think the silent, more natural, gets you more bites. Now, that said, I'll throw the F4 a lot. It does have a knocker in it. Well, it's got a weight transfer system, so as it's going back and forth, you hear a knock. In that dingier water, I think that gets you a few more bites. But at the end of the day, 90% of square bills I throw from April on are silent. Good question, Hunter. That's a great question. Also, use what you're confident in. And I'm not trying to discredit myself or other influencers, YouTubers. We can give you all our fishing advice and what works for us. And I see this all the time. And someone said, well, I did what Fluke Master said and I didn't catch a fish and he's a fraud. That doesn't mean he's a fraud. That just means that maybe what worked for him didn't work for you. I mean, Matt Allen and Tim Little are amazing bass fishermen. But there's a few things they do and baits they use that don't produce for me. But that doesn't mean that what they're saying is BS. And there's things that I do that I've even told Matt about, and he just looks at me and says, really? And he's seen it in person and said, really? Really catch him like that? And I've showed him proof, and he's like, I can't do that. There's nothing wrong with that. A lot of it's confidence. You'll catch more fish on a bait you're confident at than a bait that other anglers are confident that you've never used. But we're all anglers and we want to try new things and try new colors and try new baits and see if it works for us. There's nothing wrong with that. Let's see. Baitman, I want to buy it. Baitman, go to 6 cents. You my code. Can you make a video talking about the bait? Use my code. Can you not? I don't understand. I already have a Baitman code. It's funny you said that. The old guys at the tournaments in North Carolina talk about the 4-inch pepper worm on a Carolina rig all the time. Yeah, dude. Like, I look at all my dad's old school tackle I still got. So many chartreuse pepper or smoke blue or smoke purple worms, lizards, Carolina rigging stuff. There's all kinds of that. And back in the day, man, that was it. Split shot rig, that was a spotted bass slayer. You get around some of the marinas here. Kentucky Lake used to be a spotted bass lake. If you didn't have 3 big spots in your bag, you had to have that in a couple largemouth. And over the last 25 years, spotted bass populations went way down. Our largemouth boomed when the grass came. Smallmouth have really taken off. And I have a theory: we've always had these big smallmouth. And I know I've caught a 7-pounder at night on a spinnerbait years ago. I've caught multiple 5-pounders. But what forward facing has done, because of the mapping, guys are fishing where they live at now. They're not just catching a couple random schools that just showed up on a largemouth hole. They're actually finding spots that hold smallmouth now and targeting them. So have we always had this population? I think part of it. And then the other part of me tells me the spawns have been really good. Yep, spots do love some poppers. And they love a spinnerbait. A fast-moving spinnerbait in clear water. Them spotter bass love. My buddy Ryan Coleman over there at Lake Lanier has made a living making spinnerbaits for him. It's hard to catch another man's fish unless you're in the boat on the same day. For instance, Zaldane had the biggest bag on La Crosse yesterday. Today he caught 2 in 9 hours. Days are different. Yeah, I agree, Brock. It is really hard to catch another man's fish. And Zaldane's kind of had a tough year, which I like him. So, but it was good to see him bust a big bag. Lee Livesey had a big bag. Yes, I thought Livesey had the biggest bag. He had almost 21 pounds. Have you tried the new Rico popper? I have not. I have seen it. I think it's called the Loco Rico. I need to make me a Tacklewarehouse order. I haven't ordered a lot of new baits this year other than the 6 cent stuff. I ordered a bunch of reels at the beginning of the year, but I haven't ordered any new baits. And I'm behind on that. I can't call myself the bait man if I'm not getting into new baits. I'm running out of room in the bait shed or room or whatever you got to call it. I've been buying and reselling. It's become my side business. It started out as just for fun, and the demand on whatnot for me has been crazy. Like, I'll show you guys this. If you're not on whatnot, you probably haven't seen this. So remember my tackle haul? I was on that price jump. Now I got all SLXs. This is all wiggle warts in this box. Look at that top row. That is all V62, V63s. Where's my Missouri crawl? Uh-oh. This ain't good. I want to say a $500 wiggle wart. There it is. That's old Missouri crawl. The last sold on eBay, $455, and this guy is mint. It still has the rattle, I believe. Yeah, rattle's a little stuck, but it still rattles. This is a good one. This is probably one of the most popular ones right here. I'm saving this box for like January when the prices go through the roof. This is a really good one in a great shape. This is a Phantom wiggle wart. See how it's translucent? It's a Phantom. And that bill, dude, that thing's never been thrown. So, see if it rattles. Sometimes a rattle stick. Oh yeah, rattles perfect. But yeah, this is, in wiggle warts as far as fish catching, this is probably my favorite right here. That one right there, green crawdad, that one absolutely slid. I believe that's V37 maybe? Yeah, green crawdad, but yeah, so this is the money box. All the stuff in here, all these warts. I'm not going to sell these to the winner. Look at that big old magwort and naturalistic green crawdad. I never understood why these guys haven't taken off. These are flatworts. But yeah. So high demand here. You gotta know when to hold them, know when to fold them. And honestly, you're better off if you want to make money on wiggle warts. You hold them until the spring and winter when guys start searching for them. You'll sell more. Speaking of, you guys want to see something crazy? Get on eBay and type in Ish's Fat Poppin' Frog, and then go to the sold listings. Guys are paying $200 for them. And I don't mean like months ago. I mean like days ago. Yeah, Storm Lightning Shad, very underrated bait. Not near the demand of a Storm Wiggle Wart. They had some really good finishes on them, some really good shad-like patterns. They actually made a really big one that was about that big, the size of like a DD22 or bigger. But Lightning Shad's a really cool bait. I know some guys that's won some money on the Lightning Shad. So, well, that's what I got going on. I'm ready to go throw me a little bit of the old finesse spinner baits too. I really love a compact spinnerbait in the fall. One of my go-to baits. If you guys will look on Hookup Tackle, has got these in a new. This is the original Squeaky Dolphin, by the way. But if you want the Max Squeaker, which is the Tackle version, there's a new Squeaker Pup, a 1/4 ounce one. I need to order some of those. So I really like the squeaky off and the Max squeaker. But anyway, we've been on for let's see, an hour and a half, hour 10 minutes, guys. And I know it's late at night, only 30 people in here, and I've enjoyed showing you guys some baits, talking some fishing. I'm going to do baits and brunch on Whatnot Tuesday, so I'm going to have some hard baits for sale, some soft plastics, probably about an hour and a half worth of run time. I'm going to do that on Tuesdays and Thursdays during the day, because I'll be honest, Sunday night Whatnot is turning into fiasco. There's like 30 shows. Everybody, I guess, started noticing how many people were watching me and a couple others, and so now they don't realize that if everybody's schedule is on top of each other, there's not enough people to go around. Whatnot is still in its infancy. There's more people on eBay every hour than's on Whatnot all day. So more buyers get on there, the better. But I'm starting to see a lot of people schedule on top of other people, like trying to get their viewers, and really find your own time and go from there. So, and there's always a method to madness in business. So I treat it like that as well. But anyway, guys, I'm going to jump off here, go watch some college football highlights. I made 2 bets today. I hit a parlay, and then I totally missed on one. So I'm up about $80, though, on $10 bets. So worked out good. I can't wait next Saturday night. I don't know what we're going to do, but I know I'm watching Tennessee football during the day. I'm going to try to get somebody on here. I might see if I can get Zach Burge to join us next Saturday night, be the first MLF guy, and we'll talk some frog fishing. I'll reach out to him, and I'll reach out to Flint over at Battle Baits, and which one responds. We'll see if we can get a Saturday night YouTube stream from the bait room. So, guys, you have a wonderful weekend. Have a good work week. Make sure you follow me over on all my other social media, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Just look up Baitman Baxter, you'll find me. So, you guys have a wonderful evening. I'm going to jump off here.